Good morning and welcome to the Driven Podcast. My name is Kelly Bohm and this is my first solo podcast. I wanted to just take a minute. I've just had some things on my mind and I wanted to share them with you. I heard a quote today from a book that I'm reading that said, people respond more to your vibes than to your words. And that totally connected with me. It's in alignment with a quote that I put on my emails. And it's that Maya Angelou quote that says, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you do, but people will never forget how you make them feel. So your energy, your vibe says way more than your words. Your facial expressions, it says a lot, which I actually have to be very careful about my facial expressions. So I'm 45 years old, and a big confession here, I get Botox. So I just got it a few days ago, but I was late getting it. Okay, so I get Botox about every 3 months, and I was behind by like 4 to 6 weeks, and it was getting pretty rough. Pretty rough in the fact that people could see my forehead and my eyebrows moving. My kids would say, like, what's wrong with you? Why are you making that face at me? Are you mad at me? So it's really important, your vibe, your body language, your energy, and how you use that, how you can control it, the vibes you're putting off. That makes more of an impact on how people feel about you and how you feel about them based on the energy of what's happening, not necessarily what you're saying, but just the vibe that you're putting off. Sometimes my kids get stressed out. They've said, like, Mom, I just hear your footsteps and I get stressed out because I'm like on a mission. So I work from home. I'm running a business and I also am running a household. So sometimes when I'm home, it's like I'm in work mode, Mom. There's days and times where the candles are lit and the music's going and I'm cooking and I have my apron on and I'm drinking a glass of wine and I'm so chill mode. I'm putting off great vibes. I'm looking my children in the eyes. I'm spending time with my husband and I put off this really good vibe. And I like myself better. I like my home better. I like it better when it's clean and it feels good. But I can also put off this big stress ball vibe when I'm on a mission. And sometimes you have to set your timer, you have to get some stuff done, you have to do the laundry, you have to do the dishes, the house is a mess, you need to get it picked up. But that energy that I put off when I'm like stressed about the house or not feeling good about the house, it makes an impact on my kids and a negative one. I remember this one turning point in my life where a friend really spoke a ton of truth into my life. My friend Esther, her and I would do carpool when my youngest Grady was in preschool. So, gosh, this was like 12 years ago, maybe. So 12 years ago. But we were carpooling. And of course, I was always in a huge rush, picking kids up, dropping kids off, getting from one appointment to the next. And probably after a few weeks of us carpooling, I rush into my friend Esther's house and I'm like a tornado. And she called me later, or maybe she said it to me in that moment. I don't totally remember, but she said to me, Kelly, if you can't come into the house and like be relaxed and just like spend a few minutes connecting, she's like, don't come in. I'll just bring Grady out to you. And that really was a wake up call for me. I think I was kind of behaving like the world revolved around me and my stress and my busyness and my whatever was like the only thing going on in the world. I wasn't thinking about like her life and her home and what she was trying to create. And I was bringing my personal stress into her environment. So that really spoke to me. Um, and so now when I come into those moments of like I'm tightly wound, if I'm coming back to the house like after a meeting, or I'm going from my office into the living room or into the kitchen, I try to take a minute and like pull myself together a little bit. Like take my stress, set it aside, take the work, take the to do, take the whatever it is, if it's not positive, and just kind of set it aside. Not that you want to stuff your feelings or it's not real, but there's a time and a place for your energy and where to bring it. And sometimes you just need a minute to like go, to just shake it off. Go for a walk, um, do some push-ups, listen to a song you like, listen to a podcast that maybe gets you into another place. But I think learning to control and manage your energy so that you can show up and be the best version of who you want to be for your family and for your business. Um, I love my brother Alex so much. He's one of my people. He's always in my corner. I actually just called him recently and told him, like, I'm just so thankful to have someone that I can completely be myself with and share a lot of things with. And I know that I'm going to get good counsel from him. But I remember before he was married, he moved to Arizona and he would come home after work and stop by our house and just kind of like puke his work stuff on me. And it just, reminded me of like who I was being to my friend Esther. Like I wasn't being a fountain to her. I wasn't sharpening her. I wasn't bringing like good, solid peace into her life and filling her soul. And I don't remember if I even talked to Alex about this, but I had to like set some boundaries. Like, don't pick up the phone sometimes when he would call. I'm like, he's just going to complain about work. I don't want to hear about it. Since that was a long time ago. It was before he had kids, before he was married. He's grown up so much, and I've seen that growth and development. So if anyone's younger out here listening, I think it's a good thing to kind of get under control and a sign of maturity if you can deal with that. Like, yes, you have your issues, but maybe get a therapist, maybe get a journal, maybe just take some deep breaths, say a quick prayer, listen to some music, and just set it aside. The stress will always be there. The things will always be there. The to-do list will always be there. And something my husband always says is how you handle stress, how you handle hard times is what separates the men from the boys. You're going to face it. Are you going to do that with grace and with beauty and strength, or are you going to fold under the hard times? So those feelings exist. But I think I would love to get out of them more quickly. I was having a conversation with my daughter kind of recently about she's stressed, she has school, it's her senior year. She just has a lot of things going on, and sometimes you just like are in a funk. So I think the quicker we can get out of it, the better. Like recognize it, it's a true feeling. Name it, journal about it, tell a trusted friend or your family member about it. And maybe that family member just needs to listen and hear you out. Like just have someone who can listen and then move on from it or deal with it, whatever you need to do. But the quicker you can get out of that funk and be back to bring a good energy and vibe to your family and to your workplace, the better you're going to be. Um, Something I read this morning in Proverbs was without wood, fire goes out. Without gossip, a quarrel dies down. And I really loved that image, and I hope that I read it correctly. I'm going to look it up really quickly. But yes, without wood, a fire goes out. Without a gossip, a quarrel dies down. And I love that image of building something. So, like, you have to build a fire. You have to make the effort to put the wood on the fire. And that's what makes it grow. So without that wood, that fire goes out. So I think we can look at this fire as like a positive thing or a negative thing. So if you don't want quarreling in your home and in your business, then don't add gossip to it. Don't add fuel, don't add wood to that fire. And then you think about like a good fire that you're building. If you want the glow in your backyard to attract friends and family and joyous moments and connection points, then build a fire. Build a fire that's good. Build it with positivity, with kind words, with giving people a sense of belonging. You can build a beautiful fire that people are attracted to, or you can build a fire that burns a house down. And so I think just decide what kind of fire do you want to build. Um, so just a couple takeaways as we leave today. I think the first thing is Who are you becoming? That's your choice. Um, a lot of people are handed some really hard cards in life. And I'm having a conversation later today with my best friend whose son has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and it's a terminal, horrible disease that slowly um, destroys his body and his muscles. It's a terrible hand of cards that she's been dealt. But she wakes up every day and decides who she's becoming, what she wants to do with her life, and how she can love her son and her family. Um, so we all are given different hands. We're dealt different hands, but what we decide to do with that is what determines who we become. We are the architect of our own life. We get to decide how we respond to things, what we do with our time, and what we lean into to become the person that we're supposed to be. I think it's really important to fill our cups daily, to renew our minds daily, to fill it up with good things, with truth, so that we can become a fountain to other people and not a drain. So it's so easy to wake up and to check your email, to have a family member who maybe woke up on the wrong side of the bed to kind of dictate how you start your day, how you feel about yourself. So if you can set your alarm even 5 minutes before everybody else gets up and do something that helps you to become better. For me, it's prayer and devotional. That's what I do. It's podcasts for me, listening to things that help me as a business owner. And just fill up your own cup. Put on your own face mask before you can put on someone else's. You have to make sure you take care of yourself, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual being, so that you can give to others. The second thing is your friends determine the quality and direction of your life. I've been saying this to my children since they were babies. And I think this is hard as a middle-aged woman. I'm 45 years old, and I think I have a lot of people in my life that I love, and I have a lot of people that are carrying a lot of burdens, and it's just the way it is in life. We have older parents and grandparents, if we're lucky, that are carrying a lot of things too. I'm lucky that my grandma's still alive and she prays for me and my family, my extended family every single day. But there's just a lot of pain in life at this age. It's not the 15, 16, 18-year-old self where you're getting your license and you're graduating from high school and you're going off to college and you're meeting people and falling in love. It's a different spot in life where there's a lot of divorce and pain and hardship. But knowing life is full of hard things, surround yourself with people who have a similar perspective as you, who see life as a glass that's half full, and people who see challenges as opportunities and privileges. Some of the things that happen to us, we do not choose, we do not want, but it's the spot that God has put us in, and it's a privilege to walk through it. I've seen so many people lose children this past year and have children with terminal illnesses, and it's the unimaginable. No parent should go through it. It's awful. Um, but they pick themselves up and they keep marching forward. And I don't understand it. I don't know how it happens, but I believe they've decided to work on filling themselves up, and they've surrounded themselves with a support system of people that are supportive and see life the way they do. And I think the third thing I'm going to encourage you with today is to have fun, get some hobbies. I think it's really easy to focus on your children, to make that your everything. And then when they leave, it's really hard. It's hard to remember what you're doing. And I think it's easy for a marriage too to be focused not on one another. So have some hobbies with your spouse, by yourself. Be fun. Look in the mirror and like the person that's in that mirror. Like who that person has become, like what that person does, like how that person treats other people. Don't lose sight of who you are. So have a wonderful day, and I hope you got a little takeaway from some of these things that have been on my heart and mind today. All right, God bless. Talk to you later.